like to open up, and make a motion that we accept this annexation, and so we can open up for discussion.
Second that.
Can anybody on the floor have anything they'd like to bring up?
Madam has sent me the paperwork on this. I have forwarded it to our staff. I've given them my position, but I have no issues with this annexation request. It's gone to our tax department and to our director of development. They have to do their paperwork. And as she put in her email, I need the approval of the minutes, unfortunately, it's the table. And then a copy of your resolution. When that's completed and signed, you can send it to me or send it straight in. I can give the person's name and email address to get that to them. So this tabling will slow that process down.
Oh,
But it's on the right track though.
clarification, you need tonight's minutes?
Yes,
Or-
because
well,
in
we
your.
need tonight's minutes, but not last month's minutes, because the public hearing is for this minute.
I know that, but we need the approval, the minutes.
That wasn't off of that meeting, though. That was off the special meeting. that was
Special
done on.
meeting.
No, we don't even
But
have those
it
minutes.
has to be, when you approve it, that's tonight's
It's gotta be
meeting.
this.
It's gotta be this, and then the minutes being approved, so you're looking at next month, and I think next month you're gonna be dealing with trying to approve tonight's, so you're looking at sometime in September, if it goes all well, and that's gonna go into the administration of parish.
What is your name?
Introduction was.
September sixth is our next meeting.
The introduction was at the special meeting.
Right,
We
but
don't
your
have the minutes
adoption
yet.
and approval is tonight,
Right.
and I don't know how many days it takes you
So I don't know
to
if it will take-
finalize and get it signed.
The adoption will be tonight.
Yes, the adoption, but it's not law, as Tim knows, until that ordinance is signed.
That's
So
right.
how long are we talking, we're talking a whole nother month before we get the minutes and everything?
Well-
Then what?
Plus, we have to wait 10 days.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's-
Whatever your timelines are, that I don't know, that's why I was pointing at Tim.
A couple of things. This ordinance contains a clause in it that's effective upon adoption. So
Okay.
as soon as y'all adopt it, it'll become effective. The mayor will sign it within the next couple of days.
Okay.
As I understand it, Gene, and correct me if I'm wrong, this property is in the growth management area regarding the agreement between the parish and the
And the town.
So that being the case, the town doesn't technically require parish approval, isn't that correct? We require, we have to notify you, and I sent you an email for this, to this effect. And if the town fails to do that, then that allows the parish to institute arbitration or mediation proceedings. So I think that's the only requirement of the town is notify the parish, and if the town fails to do that, the only remedy of the parish is to have mediation to correct that deficiency.
But what we have always had to do, and look at the city of Slidell, and I don't think your agreement is that much different. If there's an annexation and the city of Slidell approves it, still has to come to the parish council for approval of that to concur.
Yeah, Slidell does not have a growth management agreement with the parish, so there are differences.
And there's Covington, there's several other municipalities where there is an agreement, okay?
That's correct.
And so I can confirm it tomorrow, but our council administrator sent it over to the sales tax department, tax department. But as you already know, there's no taxes on it. It's a church and there's no taxes, so
Correct.
that's not an issue. And it's, what you're gonna look at is the concurrence with the sales tax agreement, which is not gonna be an issue.
Well,
And there's no development issue either.
And I think those two things are correct. What we didn't want to do is hold the church up any longer.
Right.
That's,
Okay.
Now, up 2 months now, all this complete process. I mean, everybody's approved the plan. We didn't have no problem. The problem, everybody adopting this tonight, and giving you a copy of it as it's passed. And if it goes on effect immediately, then you could take it to the parish council and get their approval.
Yeah, that I can do, but I wanna make sure the legal process is followed, because we've had some entanglements in the past, and we do our best to avoid that.
Gene, I'll send you an email that I sent to the mayor, which sets that out.
Okay?
as it's contained in the agreement.
Okay.
And as far as the ordinance, I can give you a copy as soon as they pass it.
Okay.
I can't give you the minutes to accept the minutes of this meeting.
Right.
That's the only
So
problem.
do they have to wait for the minutes?
I already-
Well, the way the ordinance is written, I don't believe he does, because
You had to wait for the minutes. That's just a reflection of what we.
he said it's effective immediately.
I was going off the basis of what Madeline put in her email, that the minutes hadn't been accepted. And that's, and I sent it into our staff, and that they're looking at that now.
So we can't send the minutes if we adopting it tonight.
Mhm.
I'll just more or less send you an email and make you aware of what we're doing.
Okay?
That way we give you notice.
Do that,
of what
and
we're doing.
I will contact Don Henderson in the morning to explain the situation, to see if there's a different process for the town versus the other cities that we're dealing with. I'm not aware of that.
If they pass it now tonight, I'll sign it and give
Okay.
you a copy and let you take it with you.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll wait for the minute.
No, let me check, because I can tell you right now,
I know you got to check.
the cutoff for our next council meeting was today. Okay, so if you're ready to go, and it has to go that process, I can put it on the off the floor agenda. That can be done, and we can look at that. So you get, I'll stay here after the meeting, you give me your, the document. I can, I'm gonna be up here sometime tomorrow anyhow, and also on, Thursday. But I'll make sure Don Henderson checks everything out and have him get, with, Cindy Fonta, the director of planning, to see if there's a bypass in that. I'm not aware of one. Okay?
We'll make sure we're always all going up.
Yes, I agree.
Everything that the town will be taking care of, we take care of tonight, to give you
Yes.
to walk through it.
Okay?
So will someone communicate to them to let them know where it stands? If it's-
Tim,
I will send Gene a copy of the email I sent to the mayor, outlining the requirements of the agreement between the parish and the town.
I have a copy.
But Mr. Virgil's right, when the town, if the council adopts this ordinance tonight, then that, insofar as the town's concerned, it's a done deal.
Yeah.
okay. All right. Like I said, I'll stay around.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jane.
Anyone else have anything on this? Not, I'll close the public hearing, and bring it back to the floor to the council.
I'll make a motion that we accept it. Second.
We have a motion to second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So moved. Next, I'd like to introduce an ordinance 1808-2, reducing water weight for the elderly. I'd like to introduce an amendment to the budget. Made a copy of the ordinance to John. We're waiting on Bill tomorrow to get us some information that he got it correct. As soon as I get that information, I'll give y'all a fresh copy of the budget. I'll give you a copy just to give you an outline what we're working on. Police department mine, we have to change some figures around in the budget, so that's why I'm gonna do this tonight. We'll have it at the next meeting and bring it up. As soon as they'll get that information to us tomorrow, we'll get it to the budget bill and get it in the box. Okay. Now I can go on with this ordinance 18-08-02, waterways for the elderly, handicapped, low income, and people in Colorado. We gave y'all a draft of it. We need to, start working on it, with what changes y'all wanna make in it. We'll introducing it tonight, we'll bring it up and vote on it at the next meeting, and we'll get all the corrections done.
And Mayor, if I may add, if y'all could direct any suggestions, to me, at the next meeting, I'll have the appropriate amendments drafted, so y'all can vote on, the amendments and have the ordinance the way y'all want it.
Who's gonna handle these applications?
Mayor's office,
Yeah, so our office staff will.
I have to review them, or somebody would have to set up a board to review them, or how y'all decide to do it.
I was just asking. I didn't know.
And then the way we had it goes up is brought through the mayor's office, but if y'all want to set up a board for it, we can do that.
I'm fine with all
The
this stuff.
application, you know,
Yeah.
and then we got time to do it, I mean, that's up to y'all.
I'm fine with the staff doing it, I just, and you were seeing it, I was just curious.
Somebody has to make a decision on it, and I'd rather have more than mine, because I don't want nobody saying I'm playing favoritism. I mean, we don't have applications and forms for them to fill out.
That's what I meant, like, is
Well, Bridget, I think one of the suggestions I was gonna have was say maybe two aldermen and the mayor. Set on something like that, or, you know, maybe one alderman, one mayor, one staff, an office or something like that.
I think financial clerk would probably
Yeah.
be a part of it, sure.
And just, so I'm gonna waste this in an email, is it, that I read that you cannot just do a flat rate on, even on this, the elderly on this, it has to be a percentage of the rate?
No, so you can have either one.
You can't have a flat?
but
You
everything
can have a
else,
flat
you have
rate or
either or.
percentage, but now remember this, with a flat rate, you have, anytime you want to change it, you have to come back and revise the ordinance to change, you have to do it in the form of ordinance. If you use the percentage, then you don't have to do that.
Okay.
But, I mean, that's entirely, y'all look at it and decide what we're gonna do with it. No, we can go, that's why I give it to y'all, we can all look at it and come up with our ideas. And some of us might want to do it flat rates. We'll be, discuss it.
Should we talk?
What did you just say, if we do a flat rate, we have to come back and do it?
Well, we're saying this is an increase, you can come back and increase the flat
Okay.
rate.
Anytime you put a flat rate on, you have to do it in the form of an ordinance, so you have to come back and revise the ordinance every time you want to change it. With a percentage, you don't have to do it.
And since we're just kind of talking about, are we talking about a cap number on this? 20 people, 50 people, 100 people? I mean, have we thought about a cap?
We don't think it.
Is it,
We don't need to.
it's for low income also, and is it, and.
That's what it says.
Low income and all this.
The way it was worded, with the senior citizen, is it either or is it they have to be under that threshold as far as the income as well? And that's Mr. Town, the way you worded
You
it.
can be 64 and older, and or,
And or?
you look at the
Yeah, I know.
But y'all send me whatever changes y'all want, I'll incorporate them into amendments.
Look at it, see what you want to change.
And, are they, Tim, are they gonna need to, the resident themselves be responsible for coming forth, on the 1 year mark each time to request it to be renewed or to update it? Is that,
That's,
it's on us?
that was
to decide?
that was just an idea. Again, I wanted to get the conversation started, I promised y'all an ordinance for this meeting,
Yes.
because here it is.
Right.
So over the intervening month, we can talk about all of it.
Okay.
Come up with an ordinance that everybody agrees to.
You gotta have some guidelines.
Right. No, I wanted to, if that was.
Somebody passed away and their household still getting a discount, somebody's gone with them.
Right. Well, and
You
I
gotta
was.
almost keep an eye on it once a year.
Yeah, I was just thinking if we gonna do something like that, then we need in the paperwork so that they know that, and we don't like, all of a sudden in the 13 months send them a regular bill and they can't pay that.
We could send it to them on the bill several months before.
Very.
And they might, you know, I don't know, we might well go somewhere to call them, or we can go by and help them if they can't get up something.
Yeah.
We gotta think about all that when we do it. A lot of people might get to the point they can't come up to it. It's there for all of us to start working on it, because we're moving on it in another place when we do start it. Next, we have a concerned citizen, Ms. Legal Green, wants to be on the agenda. Is she here? Ms. Lee? Please, mind if I ask you a question before we start? Sure. Is this concerning the house that your mother-in-law lives in? Okay, I'd like to kind of clear it up a little bit if I could, maybe to save a little discussion on it. You know, I've been researching it, the planning commission did their work on it. We did give a variance for the camper trailer. And I was trying to find all the information, Ms. Logan's been working on it. I can't find nothing where the street was ever rezoned. It's marked on the map, it's rezoned R1A, but I can't find no paper where I'm trying to find all that. So, you know, I really talked to everybody, I don't think nobody here is trying to move her out. We're not trying to do that, we're not going to do it, I promise you that, as long as I'm sitting here. And I don't think nobody wants to, but what I would like to do is finish this research and try to get it permanent or get whatever we have to do to make it right. And none of this can come back up again and haunt her, because when it was bad on her, she was age, she don't need all these. So I just wanna make it to where she never has to worry about it. And I'm unclear right now on the zoning, because I've asked Ms. Lowe, I went through all the information we have. The zoning was changed on the front part of the street, but it didn't say nothing about the back part of the street. Gum Street back, that's the part I'm concerned with. I know the other part was done, I found work paperwork. Unless somebody else has found something on it.
I didn't know it would be a question, so I have it.
Well, I've been looking because I knew events were gonna come up, so. I've been Ms. Lowe's been looking through those things to find. And as far as I'm concerned, I'd like to work this way, she wouldn't have to face it.
Right, that's what my concern was, something more permanent, you know,
Yeah.
so she doesn't have to worry about it, and worry about people trying to get her out of there.
She shouldn't have to.
I'd just like to say,
Look, Lee, I know that you guys, I know you got an anonymous package in your mailbox saying something to that effect, and I can assure you that, you know, can speak for quite a few people up here that, you know, that was so far from the truth, and whoever did that, you know, I hope that, they move the karma bus for that, but, Mayor McQueen and I spoke several times personally about you and that situation, and both agreed that, you know, he said as long as he was here, that would never happen. And I told him that I was glad to hear that, because I don't care you or anybody in this room or anybody in this town, you know, if you're living in a trailer or camper or whatever, and that's all you can do, this is Pearl River and this community, you know, I don't care if everybody on every street in this town has a trailer and they live in, you know, a home is a home, and, you know, for anybody to try and do something like that is just completely uncalled for. So I
That is the truth, and I agree with that as well. I talked to you today about that, and wait. And thank you for that.
I'd like to address something. Miss Nina, you put your head down tonight, darling, you know you can put your head down there for the rest of, wherever long you wanna stay, girl.
It's just been going
That's be all right, okay? So that's into that.
I'd like to say something as well. I know I talked to Miss Marie and Miss Nina yesterday, and I told them, you'd like to rezone that street if it was the other zone, and keep it just the way you want it, because that is the way it should stay, the way that y'all want it, and I know I told y'all that yesterday.
Well, Mr.
I think it
James
should
and
stay
I
just the way that y'all
went
want
down
it.
Oak Street before that, before
We
you
don't
got
know
the
what's
whole-
going on.
Uh,
Several of us have no idea what y'all are talking about.
We're talking about the rezoning of a street and thereof. She has a trailer that's there, and she wants to make sure she can stay, and we're all in agreement that she should be able to stay in her trailer because it was zoned for trailers. And we wanna make sure that it's keeping that zoning so that she can stay there, as long as she wants.
we had a paper sign, you know, that went to everybody's house on the street, so make sure it was okay, you know, you don't wanna bother anybody or.
We're gonna
And
get,
actually, the
we're gonna
home
get,
is probably worth more, so it's just bringing up values.
My issue was that when it come up, that, you know, you have a house trailer right across the street from it.
That's fine, that's what I said.
It's not like it's $300,000 home.
I got one next door.
A lot of the homes, yeah, a lot of the homes are on the
Whole
home.
areas.
You're not hurting the value of nobody's property because it's a
Right.
nice place, she keeps it up now.
so just as a question temporarily, should we go ahead and, vote on another variance? I
You
mean,
could do a temporary variance to get it all straight.
could it be like an open end?
Can I make a motion, we take the item off the floor so that we can do it, so we can discuss it, move forward, is that what we need to do?
That's not on the agenda.
He's trying to say something.
I mean, this is a topic of Ms. Levine's question.
I don't know why they don't. Let's back up. The proper time would be good to put it in hands of the planning commission, let them bring it back to us. I mean, I don't think nobody here is gonna go down there and make a move and try to, I know I'm the boss in January, I tell you that. And there's nobody moving that trailer all the time.
Right, I didn't think it was.
But
No.
we got time, to have planning commission research, finish this, looking at it. We might not even have to rezone the street, it might be okay. That's why I was looking back and the road was, she got asked her to help me with it. But we can't find nothing where it was ever rezoned. If it never was done, the street is all we want to start with, it's for mobile homes and houses.
And then they
We
just
might
say
be
that
arguing over
permit.
something we didn't even have to do, that's what I'm trying to say. So
If
let's
it's
turn
zoned
it
for
back
trailers,
over
it's
to
just
the
zoned for
planning
trailers, it's in
commission.
the store.
Do it the proper way, and that way she can never have to.
Either way, it's
worry
good to
about
go.
it.
Any way, it's good to go.
So that they can make it more permanent instead of every year.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
some will have nothing to do
You want to
All
figure it out?
She ain't gonna have to say something.
All right, well, thank y'all.
Thank you, Lee. I appreciate it. Legislative report, y'all have anything?
Lori, like,
Yeah, I have some, yes. Right, so, tonight, we went over to Riverside, Franklin Line, went to Riverside, we were invited by Miss Patty to come over, because we wanted to go to the schools with Keep Harbor Beautiful. And I went and brought all the materials that I introduced to y'all, probably about, a few months back that we got from Keep America Beautiful. And it's just books and games and stuff to teach the kids how to deal with their litter, where does the gum go, things like that. And so we wanted to go to their literacy night, and Miss Patty said that they're not having a particular night until October, but she asked us to come to the open house tonight. So we went over there for a little while. Everything was approved through the school board, of course. And we're gonna start going into the schools with Keep America Beautiful and Keep Harbor Beautiful to read to the kids and show them, you know, where to put their litter. And with that, we did get our trash cans delivered with our grant, as we applied for, and they are in the park. And we're waiting for our logos to come in from Keep Louisiana Beautiful. And once they go on, we have to take pictures and send it back to be able to keep our grant. but they were like $700 each for the trash cans that we received, so we received 5. The other thing was, we were able to, because we went into the Cleanest City contest, and we went into Keep America Beautiful, we actually got affiliated with them in February 2018. We wound up being able to get the Lieutenant Governor Award because of those 2 things that I fought for, that we went to, through. And, we have a conference coming up for Keep America Beautiful. And if approved, someone on our board will go for 2 days. And because we have kept up with everything that they've asked us to do, we've done all of our conference calls, I went to the regional meeting, did all the conference calls. So we'll receive $500 just for going to the conference. So that'll be given into our beautification program as well. And that's it.
I just wanted to announce, remind everyone about the annual river cleanup that Jessica Gawley heads up and puts together every September. And I think we announced it last month, but it is next month on the 22nd at 8 o'clock. We're meeting at the Fish House. Those of you who utilize our river and care about that, I encourage you to attend that. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. Jessica puts a lot of work into it. And a few of us try and go over there every year and get our moves and help out with that. I mentioned a chili cook-off that we were partnering with the Lions Club to do back in the spring, summertime, or whatever, and we kind of put that off. We put some feelers out, we kind of put it off, and felt like it was better to do it this winter. So we are going to be picking a date, and I should have that next month. It'll be in November, and that is going to benefit Pearl High School's cross-country team for equipment and stuff like that, just like all the other things that we partner with them does, that all the proceeds go to the school or to whatever charity. And the only other thing that I had is Mayor McQueen and Alderman McGregor and myself, we have been talking to Senator Mizell, and the Wall That Heals is an exhibit. It's a traveling exhibit that is traveling around the country from DC. It is it's an exhibit. It's a Vietnam War memorial exhibit, and it honors like all the millions of soldiers who were in the U.S. Armed Forces, and they've been all over the country. They will be coming through on November 15th and going to the Franklinton Fairgrounds, where it will be till November 18th. November 15th, they're going to be coming down 41, and they're going to be making a small stop at Point Blanc Park. We got together, and we reached out to the schools, and we're reaching out to some of our business owners, and we're going to be letting all of our residents know. Senator Mizell and I would like for everybody who can attend that morning to line the streets of 41 when they come in. We're going to supply the flags and the banner and stuff for everybody to have, and just line 41 on both sides just to pay tribute to them, show our support and our gratitude for our veterans and all of those who serve. So I just wanted to mention that more information is coming available. We're going to have it on our Facebook page as well. Any of you that have any questions or whatever, we do have some interest from our schools. Some of our schools are actually taking field trips to the Franklinton Fairgrounds to see the memorial. They're going to have activities and stuff like that. But this Franklinton is the last stop this year for the traveling exhibit, and I just think it's something special, and we can't ever pay tribute enough to the men and women who fight for our country. So I hope that, I know everybody works, and most people work and it's hard to get away, but those of you who don't, I would love to see you guys on the side of 41 and welcome them into the town.
Can you say the name of that park one more time? I'm sorry.
It's the Point Blanc Park, right there on 41, the baseball, football fields, soccer field. Yes.
And what is the date?
It's November 15th is when it's coming through Pearl River that morning. And then it'll be there, it's going on the 15th, it'll arrive there, then on the 16th through the 18th is when it'll be there.
said it passed through town around 11 o'clock.
Around
If it gets
11.
closer,
No,
we
that's
should have a
ten.
better idea.
Yeah, that, it's right now 11, but as it gets closer, it may change a little bit, but we'll let everybody know.
If you go both.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to give a little convention update. Recently, we went to the 81st Louisiana Municipal Association Convention in Lake Charles. I was attended by the mayor's lovely wife, Ms. Karen, town clerk Madeline Campbell, her husband Dennis, Alderman Contreras, Tony, Alderman David McGregor, Alderman Captain Walsh, myself, and my wife Cheryl. Many times you go to these things and there are workshops, you attended one, a couple of the workshops that were attended with tourism, how to attract and retrain it, how to finance your capital outlay for towns of our size. A new one is discrimination in the workplace. This is an hour course that eventually everyone that's in public office will have to take this class. One of the more interesting was the importance of planning for stormwater runoff. I went to this with very open eyes. I was very amazed to find out that they did not know anything about the One Lake project, and maybe the mayor might touch on this in a minute, but the Pearl Basin project. This is going to affect a lot of our flooding downstream. If you're not versed about this, I've got this. You're more welcome to get some of this information for us. Myself, a bunch of us, Bridget, Mayor, a bunch of us attended a meeting a while back. But I was really amazed to find out how many legislatures in that area had no idea about the One Lake project. And it kind of really threw a flag up with me. One of the other things was the opioid crisis. I know the chief has touched on this. It's a very, it's not just big cities and small towns included. You know, keep a good eye on your medication. If it's old medication and you think it's some kind of barbiturate or whatever and you want to dispose of it, you can contact the chief of police or, you know, one of our health units and they can tell you how to do that. Don't throw it down the toilet. It's a hazardous waste going down the toilet. So it's very enlightening to find out just how much of this is really going on. One is blighted property challenges. Preparing for the 2020 census and the Code of Government Ethics, which every government official is required to complete at least 1 hour training a year. And speaking of ethics, ladies and gentlemen, if any of you have read our recent audit report, it stated that an alderman was not in compliance. That alderman was me. Before you question why, I was confused myself. One phone call to the ethics office and a few emails sent to the appropriate parties, in fact, proved that I, in fact, had completed the required training. This is just an example, ladies and gentlemen, that government mistakes happen on all levels. I have my little certificate. I'm good.
Will that be online too?
It is online.
It is online, yes ma'am. One of the more colorful speakers was Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. He presented a short film on our state, and it was our slogan is "Feed Your Soul." It's a pretty good slogan. It's about all how the cultures and melting pots call us Louisianians commonly call Pearl River. He suggested the next time you go on vacation, make it a stay vacation. You know, stay in the state of Louisiana someplace. You know, take a tour, go on a tour boat, take a kayak trip. You know, eat at a local restaurant, stay at a local motel. Kind of staycation inside the state. And it was just inspirational like that. I did notice that the mayor got something on his desk, and some of us got a little bit of, my wife calls it Gantitano stomachs, and I think it was the water. So got the good water here in Pearl River, went someplace else, we had bad water, so I think we all got a little bit of that. But overall, it's a really good convention. And I failed to mention this, that I do believe I had the best dance partner of the whole week, my lovely wife Cheryl. It was a good time. I'd like to go. And if anybody wants the One Lake project, I have some information. So thank you very much.
Anybody else? Chief.
Good afternoon, y'all. Citations, we wrote 158 last month. Out of arrests, we had 57. 3 were DWIs, 4 were fugitive arrests, 9 drug violations, and 1 aggravated assault with a firearm, which ended up being a guy got hostile at one of our bars and decided in the argument to pull out his gun. But we arrived on the scene and diffused it and got the gun and made an arrest without anybody getting hurt. So that's a good kudos for my guys to get over there. And of course he was drunk, so just to let y'all know. At least it ended up in a good way for everybody. October 12th at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. we're gonna have our night out against crime out front. If any of y'all haven't been to it, please come. It's real nice. We have free food, free drinks, free entertainment, all kinds of stuff that happens. We're getting with the Army National Guard. They're talking about having these big balls that people get into and bounce around each other. They're gonna have the ninja fight suits that kids can put on and stuff, and all kind of obstacle courses. And hopefully we might even get the Duncan booth back. And last year where we had officers that got into it, including myself, and we raised money for the high school. So it's all for a good cause and having fun to meet people and to learn about a little bit about crime and what not to do. The school details, the school SROs, school resource officers. We now have school resource officers in all of our schools in Pearl River. I did mention that all of them was going to be full-time and not with the details or something, but due to the lack of time, and by the time we got our agreement signed, and it was all due with figures. Let me tell you, they made me break it down to the percentage, and even workman's comp, we found out how much we pay in workman's comp. It's ridiculous, even to Slidell. But I had to break it all down, and it took to, like, we already had them in school on Monday, and I think we didn't get the contract signed till Wednesday, Mayor? It's like 2 days later. But so knowing that, I couldn't hire anybody to take the place, but we left one school open that we're working as a detail. And then I found out by talking to Slidell to see how their numbers were broke down to give it to the school board to make this contract happen, or agreement. It's not really a contract. But come to find out, they had like 9 details that they started, and I was unaware of that. When I report something, I report what I think is the truth or known to be the truth. So if things change or I find out later, I'll report it. I got no reason to give y'all false information. It doesn't benefit me. But we do have, in Little Pearl is the detail where that officer changes could be daily. And my Deputy Chief Hunter is over the details. So we work it out with the officers that are off and that might have worked the night before or 2 nights ago, and that's off that morning, and they might work it. But other than that, that's it on the school detail. If y'all have any questions, call me and ask me. But I'm real proud that we have our schools covered, including pre-K. Out of the state auditor's report, I want to mention, they also mentioned something about the police department and the use of credit cards and not getting bids. Well, what we do, we never did do the bids. We did, we shopped around and got the best price. Because we have gone from Fuel Man to Shell to Chevron, and no telling how many more that we had since I've been here. And now they're saying that we get dinged on it. They'd rather us go to getting prices from comps. And I tell you what, we're going to end up going to the state contract with our fuel card. That way, there's no questions asked. It's a state contract and it's a fuel state card that we're going to have that some agencies do carry. And I've talked to Matt Dago, our attorney, about it, and trying to make this happen. In the next couple of weeks, we'll be applying for it and probably have them in probably the next 3 weeks. So I think that's a good thing to make it where the state auditors won't come back on us on that. Also, citations. They mentioned something about citations not being under a lock and key or whatever. That did not concern me. Ours have always been under a lock and key and a camera. The only thing is that the policy, they said we didn't have a policy, or next door may not have had a policy. Well, I'm going to tell you, we had a policy, but we amended it. And we amended to be a state law. The state law has a policy on issuing citations to the officers and how to bring and how to turn them in. All right, so that's our policy, but we amended it, and it was in March, and it didn't have an amend date, so she dinged us for not having a policy. So just to let you know, believe me, they're good people. They nitpick us to death. You will not believe the amount of time that they keep us just busy. I mean, every day just requesting stuff. It's just crazy. And out of that report, I think it only reported March and September are the only 2 months that they scrutinized and came up with this report. But gladly to report, at least the police department wasn't missing no receipts. And to me, I feel real good with our report. But other than that, that's it. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Laura was talking about it a while ago, but this is a plaque we won from the Lieutenant Governor for the Clean City Award, which is 2 years in a row with contest. I'm very proud of our town. We got it cleaned up very good, I think. Roger, to help you on that ethics thing, we did have one employee that slipped through the cracks. It wasn't just you. Wasn't me. One of our employees. And, on the audit report, we got wrote up for several things, you know, funny, like AJ said. We did have policy procedures in place for 4 departments. But just because we didn't put it in their hands the morning they got here, they wouldn't accept it. So that's why we got wrote up for not having policy procedures. We do have them on the ticket department, the water and sewer department, and the department that sells permits and everything. We were told how to set this up by the last auditor that was here. We thought we were doing it right, but this new group said we wasn't. So, just wanted to clear that up. The report comes in every year now on anybody in St. Tammany Parish, and we have to live with it. They said I was excessive spending in my gasoline. I'll get a line item budget here with $2,000 a year in it. If you want to figure that up, you need some help, I'll help you too, Mr. Marshall. That's $166 a week, a month. And they wrote me up for spending $30 2 months, 1 month last year. And I said, well, I could have went to Baton Rouge. Well, you should have had records on it. Well, you got that. That's what I got wrote up for, was $30 2 months, 1 month. But I've never exceeded my $2,000 that's in the line item budget that this council approves every year. So I just wanted to get that cleared up on the facts. I did have one thing that I got paid last year for mileage for the convention. I shouldn't have got it. I paid the money back before this audit report come out. I can prove it with a check. I can prove it if anybody wants to see it. When I was made aware of this, I paid the money back. I've never took a penny from this town, and I never will. If anybody's accusing me, they don't know what they're talking about. You got something, bring the investigators in, let's get it over with. I'm tired of hearing this and being accused of being a thief, and I'm not a thief. I might be a lot of things, but I'm not a thief. I'm not a liar.
Contrary to what some of the little hate groups that are buddies with some of these people want to say, last month we had an auditor in here, and I think it was, hate to put you on the spot, but she was complimentary of us, and we had a few, you know, little infractions or whatever, and I think it was fair that asked her, it might have been Deb, that said, you know, so basically, are you giving us an A-? And she said yes. So, you know, for all of you who read all this garbage that, you know, this one here puts out and everything, we'll take an A- all day long.
I would ask you to stop. Can you stop doing that? It's really rude
What's wrong?
to keep calling somebody out in the audience. I think that's
Well,
very
he's
rude.
calling me out in the public.
I still think this is a waste of time.
I tell you what, this is.
He needs it. Just because he's endorsed anymore doesn't mean.
I just let him know. I think it's very rude to call out a person in the
I
audience.
don't care what you think.
Nobody cares what you
I do have some updates I'd like to bring to the citizens of our town. Our senior citizens, are scheduled to reopen on September the 10th, Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 2:30 with activities for all people 60 years and above. They will be taking registrations on August the 30th at 10 a.m. to noon at the senior citizens over there. I would like to personally thank Ms. Marika and Ms. Nita Levine for walking the streets, going door to door to sign up for a lot of seniors. We've got to keep this up.
Thank y'all.
Above 30 people, these ladies went out and got over 40 names across the start line. They've helped us a great center back up and running for the seniors. If anyone has any questions about the center or registration, contact the town hall. Flyer will be here for registration information you obtained from the town hall office too. We will have flyers here tomorrow, I hope. We said possibly it might be Thursday morning before we start handing them out, but we are gonna get them out to businesses and walk door to door if we have to. We want to get as many seniors as we can here. If we don't keep the number up to 30, we're gonna lose it. Just afraid we're gonna lose it completely. So I think with everybody working together, we can do that. Last week, myself and a few others attended a meeting concerning the One Lake project. It was not a very informational meeting in regards to our area and the possible negative impact it may have in Pearl River. I have been in contact with Ms. Sharon Hill for providing information to the public as it comes available. I strongly encourage anyone with concerns or questions on this project to submit their concerns either by mail or email by September the 6th. If anyone would like the mailing address or the email address, I do have it here. If you want to come up and get it after the meeting, or I'll make you a copy of it, or we can put it up. We put it on Facebook where everybody can get it off there, but it's on Facebook. So I'm strongly urging everyone who's concerned about our river, if you got questions, please send them in. We all sat through this meeting the other night, Bergeron, a bunch of us, everybody up there, I think. They didn't give us no information on our area. It was all about Jackson, Pearl, and Richland, nothing concerning our river below Bogalusa. I think that's our biggest concern. I'm sending an email to Ms. Sharon with the same regard. I'm not happy with it. I hope the citizens are not happy with it, because we need more information on it. I think it's gonna really affect our river at this end. Also, I've got an update on the bridge. I hope the obstacles concerning this, especially regarding the ownership of the creek bed, have been worked out. Senator Hewitt indicated this project remains at a high priority level, and the parish has requested weekly updates from the contractor. The appraisal of the north side is set to begin, and they anticipate 3 weeks for the appraisals and all appraisals reviewed process. Once the reviews are complete, that phase will be over. The process requires a standard 30-day fair negotiation period with all landowners. This will not require a contract extension. So we're hoping if all that's finished, it's just the process of now buying the property and getting moving on it. And that's the last update we got on it. I thought y'all need to know that's all the information we have on it. So when it comes in, I will make it, I'll put it on Facebook and on the site, the website, to let you know. Recreation District 5.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. Y'all hear me?
No.
No? Big fingers today. Red District 5. All right, my records all show that everything that was needed on the record has been turned over to the town of Lason land for the boat landing. And we hear that everything is proceeding slow, but it is proceeding. There's some things that need to be lined up as far as transportation and things of that nature, what I'm being told. So, the boat landing deal was basically in your hands, and we still have our funding set aside for it.
So if something breaks, please notify us and we'll pitch in and get done what we can get done. I'd like to move on to another, project we have going is, we're entertaining the, CEA with the, St. Anthony Parish School Board. And as everybody's heard tonight, there's been several projects going on with, fundraising for schools, high school, other schools in the area. That's great, the community is coming through with all of that. And the little payback we're working on is trying to light the area where the track is at the high school. I guess everybody knows that our track teams, been all the way to state. And that's worthy of an applause, whether y'all do or not. But they are in need of getting lights put up on the track. I believe we're the only high school in this parish that doesn't have a lighted track. So they can't hold track meets due to that fact. And the recreation department's committed through with flag football and contact flag and other entities of the recreation world to light up the area, the little practice field between the track and the girls' softball field. And if y'all remember, that was a successful endeavor to get the lights on the girls' softball field. So as of right now, the only thing in our high school that's not lit or have the capabilities of being lit when needed is 3 tennis courts and the track. So we're working toward that, and I'm sure there'll be outreach to the community. The goal is to have a place to where those that think that our young people are driving too fast on the streets can safely use the track for exercise, especially my age. And I'm not really I don't know where I fall in there, you know. I hear senior citizens across the street are 60, and then I hear senior citizens up here is 64 and above. At my house, my wife's 67, and I'm just in my 60s a little bit. So our household falls in between two, but we would like to support this senior citizens, and I believe that all of our community actually is in need of it. But we'd like to have a place to safely, my wife walks, if y'all drive by the high school, my wife walks religiously there daily, except for rainstorms, and she may cause a few of them. But we want to use the high school track, and we'd like to make it a community endeavor. So if there's anybody that would like to contribute to it, there will be some upcoming means to do that. We as a rec district, I can't solicit funding or anything for the public, but I just want to make the announcement that it is a legitimate thing, and if you're approached and feel willing to help your community, then maybe we can get this project going also. So I appreciate your time. I know everybody wants to go. I'm gonna cut it off there.
Council, I forgot, I apologize to y'all, first to make a statement at the meeting that you were gonna give me a copy of the quarterly report. I don't expect y'all to say much on it till we do the budget, but if you find anything else we were talking about at next meeting, according to the auditor, that's what we have to do. Fire District 11, they couldn't be here tonight. Chief sent his report in, he had EMS, he had 67, MBAs, he had 9. Gas leaks, he had 1. Assistant of police, he had 4. Structural fires, he had 1. Service GI is 5. False call counsel 1. Alarm malfunction 5, and smoke removal 1. Total of 94 calls. Mr. Dean Belisario.
Good evening, I have 3 items, now I have 1. Bridge in the church. I've got an unusual one, I'm gonna give you a map for people to see. A movie production company has received approval to shut down the T.J. Smith Expressway and Airport Road for movie production starting at 6 p.m. Thursday evening to 1 a.m. in the morning. So if anybody's traveling out here, just take that into account. It's approved by the state.
That's this Thursday?
Yes, Thursday evening at 6 p.m. I want to make sure people know that, because you'll be caught off guard really quick. If you're leaving here and you come through the Ponderosa subdivision, you won't be able to make a right to go up the airport road.
Can we have that on Facebook? Can we put that on there?
Yeah, we'll put it on there.
I'll
Are we
give you the
making money
map.
off that?
Pardon me?
Are we making money off that?
No. Nobody's, even the bears don't
Good
make money.
question.
But like I said, that's something unusual. Let me pass the map. That's it along. That way, in case you want to post that, you can. It'll be a 7-hour duration. It's Fawn Run, of course, when it crosses North Third and Fawn Run. You can't go above that for that 7-hour period.
Is there detail work in that or something?
Yes, sheriff's office will be there, that's for sure. And here, it's gonna really mess up Airport Road.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Well, Mr. Gene, why does it say the Expendables starring Gene Belisario on it?
That's a figment of your imagination. Right. Sure.
Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.
Planning and development,
The thing we have is on April 24th, actually, we first voted to replace the vacancy we had with Mr. Mike Walker and the alternate seat, Antoinette Thrasher. So we're presenting that again tonight.
I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Mr. Walker for a 4-year term to the planning commission and have Ms. Tony be the alternate.
we have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So moved.
Thank you.
Thank you. School board? Not here. I would, before I close the meeting, I'd like to apologize to people from my outburst that got aggravated. I want to apologize to the people for that. Nobody in the audience have anything they want to bring up? Anyone have anything they'd like to bring before the council? If not, we'll close our meeting and thank every one of you for coming up. We appreciate it.
Good night.